The old Kenosha Kid's been quiet for a minute. What's he necessarily been up to? Well, creating this fund to go after media entities that have defamed and slandered people in an effort to, I guess, kind of restore and reform the media. Maybe? Is that his ultimate goal? Not entirely sure about this, but we'll see what he's up to. Kyle Rittenhouse says he will sue Whoopi Goldberg. Why? Because of her controversial take about the Jewish question, and other celebrities, politicians, and athletes for calling him a murderer after he was acquitted of killing 2 men during Kenosha protest. Oh, that's what you call that riot where dumpsters were set on fire, where other shots were fired into the midnight air, where people were also getting beat up, where people were getting, hurt and injured that you were also applying first aid to. But no, that was a simple protest. It was one of those fiery but mostly peaceful protests, if you remember. Anyways, Kenosha self-defender Kyle Rittenhouse plans to take aim at the people and organizations who called him a murderer. You should be scared on that one, because when Kyle takes aim, he doesn't miss. A white supremacist, among other things, in the run-up to his trial and subsequent acquittal. Fucking say it again, say it loud, say it proud. Kyle did nothing wrong. Rittenhouse killed 2 men. Round of applause. He killed a domestic abuser and a convicted pedophile. Again, once again, you fire a shot into a fucking Antifa crowd and you are guaranteed to fucking hit a child abuser. It's fucking magic. And wounded a third. No, it didn't just wound him, fucking vaporized that bicep. Have you seen that drunken asshole? The motherfucker who has a rap sheet longer than his good arm and drunkenly falls off of chairs only to take minutes in order to get back up. It's fucking hilarious. Anyways, let's stop reminiscing about good times. Last November, the 18-year-old was found not guilty of first-degree intentional homicide and 4 other charges as well. All of them, and he walked out scot-fucking-free. Thank Christ. Now he has $980-some-odd thousand to his name, thanks to the bail hearing that just happened about a month ago at this point. So he's set up fine, and it looks like he has his future endeavors at least partially sorted out. Speaking on Tucker Carlson on Fox News on Monday night, why don't you go on just, the grassroots programs, but maybe you're just making your announcement on Tucker, and then you're going to be making the rounds from there, because those are the places that actually support you, and not Fox News' twisted account of the events. But then again, Tucker's pretty good about things for the most part, but he is kind of a cuck on others. To hold major... Rittenhouse said he wanted to hold major media and entertainment figures accountable. They like to throw around that word. They like to hold government, and they like to hold certain people accountable for their actions. Well, now guess what? You get to turn that cocksucking fucking phrase back in their face, and let's hope you mean business. Noting that he had talk show host Whoopi Goldberg in his sights. You shouldn't do that. That's racist. Didn't you know in Kenosha he shot and killed a bunch of black people? No, wait, he didn't? Oh no, see, he's just affirming his racism by singling out Whoopi Goldberg. And to be fair, we know how good Rittenhouse is with taking aim on things, but he also chose a fairly favorable target, one that it's very difficult to miss. We are all looking at quite a few politicians, celebrities, athletes. Whoopi Goldberg is on the list. Yeah, because exactly what the fuck does she qualify as anymore? When was the last time she was relevant in Hollywood? She called me a murderer after I was acquitted by the jury of my peers. She went on to say that, and others. Oh, and there's others, Rittenhouse told Carlson. He revealed that Cenk Uygur, the fucking human buffalo, the founder of the Young Turks, is on his scope, adding that he continues to call me a murderer. Yeah, that's a bitch about defamation, though. You can say a bunch of fucking wild things about people, but if they are crimes, if they are illegal, that's defamation. You can theoretically be sued because of that. Young Turks is a show. You have to be reminded of it because it's so wildly popular still. That's why it's subsidized by YouTube in order to get its failing ratings, where a lot of different media platforms continue to go up based on their hosts. The people who double down on all of this liberal nonsense content, okay, they continue to trend downwards. But yeah, the Young Turks is a liberal and left-wing news commentary show on YouTube that additionally appears on selected television channels, and nobody cares and nobody knows outside of when they make the rounds and when they're memed into oblivion. So if you recognize them, if you recognize the name, you probably do, thanks to said memes, because of course, that's the only reason why you know it, of course. What about the people who called you a white supremacist? It makes it pretty hard to get a job for the rest of your life if you are a white supremacist. No, you could just work for the Trump organ, and we get it. Will you be responding to them? Carlson asked. Well, being a white supremacist isn't illegal, and nor is it a popular opinion held by literally anybody anywhere, but all right. Absolutely, we're going to hold everybody who lied about me accountable. Why didn't you just call it the Kyle Rittenhouse Media Accountability Project? Because TMAP is your little gimmick, which I guess your handlers thought would be a good idea. I don't really know. That's why we're going through this, and it just seems kind of useless. And it's, again, just another layer where people can kind of just get their tendrils in and then just becomes a fucking disaster in a couple of years' time. But I'm hoping for the best here, but this just doesn't seem like a terribly good idea. Rittenhouse refused to be drawn on who else might come under fire from him, but there may end up being quite a list, including President of the United States, Joe Biden. It's really tough to sue a sitting president and then also somebody who's out there campaigning. And again, you're just trying to connect dots that don't really need to be connected if you're just trying to make a stand on things. 2 months before Biden was elected president, elected should be in quotes, he criticized then President Donald Trump for refusing to condemn people who were against the Black Lives Matter riots as white supremacists, which again was stupid because, you know, Kyle, how many black people died that night? How many people were even, how many black people were even out in Kenosha that night? Really tough to say. How many N-bombs were dropped? Mostly by Joseph Rosenbaum, by the way. Again, noted black man. Can't really tell though, because unless you constantly look down, because he's just a tiny little guy. Well, actually, he's even shorter now because he's in the ground. After a jury determined that Rittenhouse did not act with utter disregard for human life, yeah, he was acquitted on all those charges. God, that's fun to say. When he shot 2 people trying to attack him and kill him, one was grabbing for his gun, said multiple times throughout the night that I'm going to kill you and other things to that effect. And then another one who came up behind him and tried to fucking take his head off with a skateboard. You know, those protesters that he shot. Biden delicately weighed in on the verdict, but walked back his pre-election tweet. Oh, this is fine. He's not a white supremacist. Oh, please sue LeBron James. What a fucking sack of shit. But I don't know if there's anything illegal about this, but it would just be fun to sue LeBron James because he is an incredible lump of garbage. While the verdict in Kenosha may leave many Americans feeling angry and concerned, myself included, we must acknowledge that the jury has spoken, and until we can buy off the rest of the juries and the judges that are out there, and if Bruce Schrader would just fucking die already, then we could get all the verdicts that we want. But that's not where we're at right now. I urge everyone to express their views peacefully, and yeah, thanks to it being cold in Kenosha in early November, there weren't very many protests. There was just a lot of Twitter bitching, and boy, that was fun. So, some more words from Kyle here. My trial exposed a deep corruption in our media that cannot go unanswered. Their blatant lies, defamation, and propaganda were malicious attempts to tear our nation apart and destroy my life. And I am committed to holding them accountable, he said following the verdict. Me and my team have decided to launch the Media Accountability Project as a tool to help fundraise and hold the media accountable for the lies they said and deal with them in court. Okay, if it's going to be like a GoFundMe for legal fees, that's probably fine, as long as it's not going to be these frivolous lawsuits that are just have a high degree of failure or potential failure. But if you're going to be going against defamers like a Chunk Yogurt right there, that's the Young Turks guy, and Whoopi Fatberg, or what's her name, Carol Johnson, sorry. She just looks like Carl Johnson. Oh, and there's the Kid Toucher and the Grandma Gutter. He's a quality individual. Rittenhouse fatally shot Joseph Rosenbaum. Stand for applause. 36 years old, fresh out of a mental institution, couldn't stay the night at his girlfriend, fiance's house because she had a restraining order against him because for whatever reasons, obviously, and then was running around downtown with his shirt off, just yelling, "Shoot me, Binga! Shoot me, Binga!" Go ahead and replace Binger with whatever you possibly could think could go in there as well, with an AR-15 style semi-automatic rifle. Big black gun that's so scary. No, it was just an AR-15 rifle. After Rosenbaum chased Rittenhouse across a parking lot. Oh, little context there. That sucks. A parking lot and threw a plastic bag, which again also followed up him saying, "I'm going to kill you." Many other colorful things as well, but also running after him to punch and kill him. Shortly before midnight on August 25th, 2020, moments later, as Rittenhouse was running down the street towards the cops to turn himself in and say that somebody has just been shot. He shot and killed Anthony Huber, not pictured with his skateboard in that one. 26 years old, a protester from Silver Lake, Wisconsin. Somebody who had to travel farther to get to Kenosha to peacefully protest by lighting shit on fire and, braining somebody with a skateboard. He had to travel farther to get to Kenosha than Kyle Rittenhouse did, but he crossed state lines. Fuck off. I don't want to see anybody else have to deal with what I went through. So I want to hold them accountable for what they did to me because I don't want to see anybody have to go through what I went through. Thanks for being redundant. During Monday night's appearance, Rittenhouse announced that he would be pursuing individuals via his media accountability project, through which he hopes to target those who spoke ill of him. No, who defamed him. Not just spoke ill of him. Not just said mean things about him. He's not a fucking lib. He's an 19-year-old kid now. You defame me. You try to fuck the rest of my life up. So he's gonna have to set himself up in some form or fashion, because the only conceivable way that he's going to be able to make a living is either getting a business for himself, which at 19 is just a really, really high bar for entry, or he's going to have to take up this political cause that was foisted upon him thanks to the political outrage that the media fomented in this one. So if you're going to be capitalizing on something and you want to be the face of a movement like that, it's probably the best course of action for you. We'll see where it goes from here. And God, I just wish that he could go back to a regular life. That would be nice. Pursue the degree in nursing that you wanted to go for, okay? Try to run Binger out of town, ADA Binger, that greasy little fuck who was trying to pin him on literally anything that he could possibly think or make up. Try to become a defense attorney to run him out on rail, which he would be all too willing to do. Remember his old email address? But we'll see where this fund goes, because it's off to a good start. Okay, the website begins with a video of Malcolm X with Rittenhouse reading a quote from the civil rights activist. Malcolm X, by the way, way better, greater than MLK, fight me. Media is the most powerful entity on earth. They have the power to make the innocent guilty and to make the innocent, yes, that's the word, guilty innocent, and that's power. Fucking right. So guess what? Hold them accountable, because that's what they need. We need accountability in the society. It's not enough to be sorry. You have to be accountable too. So fuck all of them. Go after them, Kyle. Big ups to you, dude. With that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.